We're very excited to welcome everyone to the very first Lightning Developers Meetup in Austin. It's great to be relocated here, and it's great to be hosting you all. And so the purpose of this event is to give us all an opportunity and a context in which we can maintain, so that we can learn all about the vast ecosystem that's developing around Lightning. And as we together explore the possibility space of this technology, I'm excited to travel these lands with you through this event. And here's my co-host.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Hey, yeah. Austin Lightning devs, what? This is awesome, yeah. Cool, hey, I'm Lisa, also known as Nifty Nye on the internet. I work at Blockstream on Core Lightning, so tend to be more at like the protocol level than the application layer, which I feel like there's a lot of people in the audience that are more on the app level. So super excited that Ben invited me to help him out, do the Lightning devs here in Austin, make it like the best Texas Lightning developer meetup in the city of Austin. Hometown Houston, come on guys, like, okay. Yeah, so I think what our plan for today is just give you a kind of quick overview of what we're gonna do. I've got some recent updates in the Lightning ecosystem that we can talk through. We're gonna do Socratic style. This is my first Lightning dev. How does this work, Ben? Yeah.
So there are a few differences from the Socratic seminar, and that is, first of all, is anyone here, raise your hand if you're unwilling to be photographed or concerned about photography. So we have one person. So and two people. Okay, so in the Lightning ecosystem, we're open to photography and questions and those sorts of things. So that's going to be a little more open here.
Great. Okay. So, right. So I'm going to talk through some stuff. Are questions allowed? If people have questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So if you have questions, please ask. You can raise your hand, and one of us will call on you. It'll be great. So I'm going to go through some recent updates that we sourced. Then we have a very special speaker that I'm very excited about, who we will introduce after we get through our updates. And then we've got a few things to shill. And then I think then we'll open it up if anyone has an announcement that they want to make at the end. That's
right. We can, at the end, we'll line up. If anyone wants to address the group, you'll have an opportunity to do that.
Awesome. Okay, let's get started. Recent updates number 1, SGX on LDK, question mark. What's this? Wow, okay. Oh no, that's not the one. I'm gonna click on it. It's gonna be great. Cool. Cool. Oh, this is not the right, no, it is. Lightning Net Crate. Okay, so it looks like these two guys, Max FangX and Philip 9, are working to compile and run LDK within an XGX enclave using the Fortinix Enclave development platform. Anyways, so does anyone know what SGX is? It's like basically like a very hard, what's the boo for? I think the SGX is just, it's very broken. It's very broken, but they're gonna run Lightning on it. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, so anyways, this is like interesting. So I messaged the people who work at LEK and asked them what they thought was new and interesting in Lightning, and this is what they sent me. So they were like, we didn't even know this was happening. And all of a sudden someone's like sending this thing. So SGX I think is like, it's a hardened enclave that's kind of like an HSM sort of thing, and you can do like computation in it. So running Lightning in that, who knows what they're going to do with that? Maybe some interesting HSM style stuff. I don't know. Cool. Okay, moving on. I got booed on that one. Man, first Lincoln I got booed. Wow, tough crowd. Okay, cool. The other awesome thing that launched lately is this thing called Vita. Vita is live, is it on Twitter? I signed up, I have an account. You can pay money to talk to me. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so don't call me though. Like, I won't answer the phone. I mean, you can call me, but like I might just like pick it up and put down the phone, and you can listen to silence for a few minutes while you pay me money. Yeah, so you can send messages. I think there's like a bunch of people on here. Jack was like, Jack of Twitter. It looks like you can message him for 63 cents. Yeah, I think this is from Lyle Pratt, made this app. I'm pretty excited about it. Personally ranked number, I think, 58 out of most paid whatever, or something.
I would just say if you're unwilling to speak at that rate, you should raise the rate.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. This is true. I gotta charge more money. Number 58 earner, guys. So get on here and see if you can earn more sats than Nifty. Yeah. So I think this is really cool, and what I really like about this project is that it's clearly like with Lightning, one thing that we've kind of at least that I've been talking about a lot, not something I work on. Again, I work on protocol layer, but I think there's definitely this opportunity for applications to do new and interesting things, like pay to talk to someone on the internet, that Lightning in theory enables, right? So yeah, I'm super excited to see people kind of playing around with this stuff.
It's a manifestation of using value to fight spam, which has been talked about a long time in Bitcoin and elsewhere. And let's apply it to wherever it can be used.
I think we have a question over here. I think, no, okay, this is a paid comment period, so
I just want to say Lyle lives here, lives in Austin, which is cool. And I talked to him about this, and it's interesting because he has a background in telecom. He's an expert at telecom, built a telecom business. So I almost think that he's not trying to build an app. He's just making an excuse to monetize telecom data, which has a big settlement problem. So it's cool. I think what he actually wants to do is build a platform for monetizing telecom data. And he keeps making an app as an excuse to demonstrate this technology, which eventually would be sold to infrastructure companies, not end users. So it's a really cool vision he has.
And one fun thing as well is in the back end, this is using the SIP protocol, which is Session Interconnect Protocol. So just SIP, not SIP protocol. But SIP, like HTTP, has a 402 payment required error code, which is what he's using for Lightning project. I think is what we do.
The other interesting thing is he showed me all these libraries. He's an interesting guy to talk to. He showed me all these libraries about telecom stuff. All these Node.js libraries that interoperate with these old school telecom standards. It's really fascinating, kind of.
Should invite him as a guest.
Huh?
Should invite him as a guest.
Yeah, he'd be a great speaker.
Awesome. We'll have Lyle up here. Someone knows how to get in touch with him. Why is he not here today?
He had too late a notice and the wife wouldn't let him leave.
I see. Cool. So next up is Lightning Router app had a new thing. So if you guys aren't familiar with Lightning Router app, they are a node ranking service. They do data analytics for the Lightning Network, which is cool. They just launched something new, best performing routing nodes, where they show kind of how people rank on terms of how good they are at routing things, which is cool. I would be interested to know how different this is from the other metrics that we have, right? I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of cool.
Am I correct in thinking they have a couple different ways of filtering, right? They have the best performing, and then there's a couple different things, like lenses you can look at the best nodes. I think I remember seeing that.
I don't see it there. So. The Lightning Network information is generally publicly available, and so you can observe the graph and so on.
Yeah, I think they observe the graph. I also think they do some probing, is my understanding from. Yeah, I think they're probably, a big prober of the Lightning Network. Which, if you don't know what probing is, so part of I don't know how many people. Anyways, it's on Lightning Network, the way that channels work is that you have a balance in it, but the balance is not who has how much of that particular balance on which side of the whatever is not public information. So typically, in order to figure out if you can route a payment, you have to try it at a certain amount, and then it will fail, and that failure gives you some small amount of information about whether or not or where the balance is in the channel. So by sending a whole bunch of little bitty payments at different volumes, et cetera, you can kind of get a good map of where the liquidity is in the network currently. It's kind of considered a spam case. So I don't know. It's not something that really supposed to, I don't know. yeah. It's fine.
Are there any solutions?
What is a solution? What are we solving for? Solution sounds like there's a, well, I mean.
We just learned we don't like spam, right?
Well, I mean, they're failed payments, and failed payments are a natural part of the privacy aspect of not telling people what your channel balance is, right? So it's like I think there's like a trade-off here, right, in terms of like what matters to you. Do you want payments that are reliable and go through every time, or do you want people to not know what your balance of your node is, right? And the way that you hide the one is by making payments fail. And so you kind of make it such that like everyone has to discover where the liquidity is, sort of blindly walking the graph and getting data back every time they attempt a payment. The other one is or you can trade off that certain amount. And it's not even like, I mean, there's a good question here about whether or not that's actually privacy, if you can probe for it, like what level is that? It's like, well, then you kind of have to like put in some like sweat work to figure out where the lightning is. So it's not just available to anyone who wants to know, it's available to people that are going to work for it, right? Whereas I think there's definitely people in the other camp that are like, Lightning is unreliable, we should make Lightning more reliable. The way that you make Lightning more reliable is by exposing more information about where the balances and channels are. So you, in theory, I mean, it is like a reduction in privacy in terms of like how much balance of Bitcoin you have currently in Lightning. So if you make that public, then payments will be more reliable, but you won't have that privacy anymore. So when you're like, okay, do we solve the spam problem? It's like, well, you know, how important is privacy in terms of that?
Wouldn't that increase the spam too, because you have to gossip the balances constantly?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple different proposals I've seen on how to gossip it, or like how to change it, basically. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it's sort of a hard problem, right? It's like a decentralized network, and so at some level with a decentralized network, you run into a problem of like how do you share information to parties that need to know it, and like that, you know. So, anyways, yeah.
So I think probing could also be helpful to determine which nodes are well balanced, and from that you can kind of come up with a score for nodes and sort of hold that.
Yeah, and you can see this as like a balance percent thing, right? So I think that's part of what Severin is doing, is figuring out where things are.
Yeah, so it's important to distinguish between the worst case scenario where some observer knows every channel's balance and every channel's allocation over time, and if you know that, then you can watch payments flow across the network and you know the sender and recipient. And so this is the thing we want to mitigate or prevent, whereas having some statistics about the general kind of balance of things over time can be helpful potentially. So I think it's as much art as science in this case, and I'm looking forward to further developments, and maybe we can contribute to the conversation there.
As far as spam is concerned, weren't there discussions recently about paying for probing, essentially?
Yes, there were, yeah. I mean, as soon as you start paying up front for stuff, it's like, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It doesn't, paying for payments doesn't give you any amount of reliability either, though. Why don't I just take your money and like, I don't know.
To be continued.
Is the link list online somewhere? Where can we get it?
I posted it to the meetup.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's in a comment.
Okay, next up, another exciting development in the Lightning data ecosystem. Amboss launched their Lightning channel marketplace called Magma. So what this is a service, basically like a bulletin board service, where you can post liquidity that your Lightning node is offering and kind of put up how much you want to get paid for it. And then anyone can come and offer to buy it through Magma. And Magma will basically watch that the channel gets opened. They allow one of the parties can basically buy the liquidity from you. So basically it like creates a place where you can go and look at the nodes that are offering liquidity, figure out if they're like a good match for the inbound liquidity that you're looking for. Also lets you sell your inbound liquidity or sell inbound liquidity. So basically you get paid to open channels. They do it using something called HODL invoices. So you send Amboss, you basically pay Amboss an invoice, or you pay an invoice to Amboss, and they forward it on to the channel seller after Amboss is basically seeing that that channel got opened on chain. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. I think they said they had already gotten like 8.3 Bitcoin worth of channels have already been opened or sold through the ecosystem. And there's a lot of people that have listed stuff. And it's cool because you can see like, oh, they've got like so much to sell and you can go buy it. So that's pretty fun. So it's cool. Like, I don't know. It's kind of cool to see more stuff like this pop up. There's like Lightning Pool, which works a little bit differently. Then there's liquidity ad stuff that I spent a lot of time working on, which is also a little different. And now Magma, I think, is the first one that's like, Magma, I think, is the first channel marketplace that is not anyone, it doesn't matter what version of like what Lightning implementation you're running, you can, it doesn't matter, like as long as you can like receive and pay an invoice and open channels, you can use Magma, which is cool. So first like cross-platform channel marketplace.
So another way to make money on your Bitcoin.
Yeah. That's the thought, right? Yeah, that's the whole thought. Okay, cool. This is cool. So this is more protocol stuff. I think is this in bolts? Okay, so our recent Core Lightning release added this experimental feature, which is a proposal to add DNS host names to addresses on your Bitcoin, on your Lightning node. So when you have a Lightning node right now, you advertise where you can be found publicly. And right now, the only like way that you can advertise where you're located is with an IP address. This proposal, and I think we've added it to Core Lightning, it would let you put in like a host name. So like instead of saying I'm at like 557281 whatever, you would be able to say, hey, you can contact me at nifty.lol, right? And that's cool about that is like then you can use basically like the DNS resolution system to figure out what the IP address is. But what that lets you do is basically you could hide your node like at home kind of thing, and you wouldn't have to worry about like doing your IP address changing because you have like a DNS name that like basically will resolve and stuff. So that's cool. I don't know. Yeah, what's up?
So work with Onion?
Onion being the Tor stuff. So there's a way to advertise. So Tor stuff is already built into the address advertisement system. So if you have a Tor address, yes, you advertise a Tor thing. But that's already one of the, I think right now there's like 4 options. This adds a 5th of addresses you can advertise. The 4 types are IPv4, IPv6, Tor Onion v2, and Tor Onion v3. So those are already supported. So a lot of people already run nodes that only advertise Tor addresses. This is just adding like another type where you could advertise using a DNS. Yeah. That's cool. Eclair had a release. There are 2 things. I think this is back in February. I also think that this was like, yeah. Oh, I forgot to check LDK releases, but that's fine. Okay, so this adds support for 2 long-awaited things. So they added anchor outputs and onion messages. Onion messages are a, what do you call it? Kind of a precursor thing that we need in order to get Bolt 12 working. So it's exciting that Eclair has that shipped now. When I was talking to T-Bast, who's one of the lead developers on the async project, he was saying that it's now available and you can try it out and test it out. It's got RPZs and stuff. So if you're into the Scala, Eclair is the Lightning implementation that's written in Scala. So if you are into Scala and the Scala Bitcoin ecosystem, you should definitely check out Eclair and check out their new Onion messages, RPCs and stuff. So that's pretty exciting. I guess like we're in May now, so like since February is a while. Okay, cool. This one is from Fiat Jeff. This is also like Scala. Is it Scala or Scala? Does anyone know? Scala, thank you. Scala dev in the house. How many Scala devs do we have? Yeah, awesome. Okay, yeah, Scala Bitcoin. Yeah. Cool. All right, so you too can be a Scala dev. So what Fiat Jeff did is he took, so there's Eclair is the Lightning node implementation that we were just looking at that just had their release. It's written in Scala. someone forked it a while ago. I think it was the team behind the Simple Bitcoin wallet, and changed some of the routing stuff in the protocol, etc. Fiat Jeff went and forked that on top of that and made it such that it's now easier to like import from the, I think, package library and just work, etc. So if you wanted to build a custom light node in Scala for our Scala devs in the house, this might be a good thing to look at. I'm not really sure how it compares to what LDK is trying to do. This is probably a little more batteries included than the LDK set, as my understanding. But I could be wrong about that. Anyways, cool, interesting stuff. Cool.
Didn't you post another one that was like even more minimal or something?
Fiat Jeff?
Yeah, I thought you posted two. There was another one besides more like cliche or
Oh,
something.
is this more recent than this one?
Immortan forks cliche, or it's a Immortan daemonizes cliche. Cliche is the light node, and then cliche is a library, and then Immortan daemonizes runs that library as a lightning node.
Yeah, it seemed to me like one of these two, maybe it's just cliche, was like the kind of like the simplest possible lightning node, which as a developer is kind of interesting if you want to understand how it works, because like getting into LND is very, for example, C Lightning is kind of difficult because there's so many damn features that it's hard to see how it works.
That's interesting. Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, it says light node. I guess that means light node stuff.
So we got about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Oh, okay. Great. All right, I'm gonna go fast. Kraken now accepts and sends Lightning. They have lots of deposits and withdrawals. This is from May 8th, so this is pretty recent. That's exciting. I don't know how long they've had it up. Does anyone know how long Kraken has had it running?
Like 3 weeks, and it's not programmatic yet. They don't have an API. It's only like personal withdrawals.
Wow, cool. Yeah, someone's been doing, that's a lot of hand withdrawals there. I don't know. Not on mobile. I don't know how many users Kraken has, so that's like kind of, I don't know. Okay, quick, I'm going fast. Okay, Karsten Otto released LND Managed J, which is cool. Okay, apparently it's hard to, this is another thing from the Java ecosystem. There's a lot of Java stuff happening today. I've heard really good things about this. I was talking to Renee over the weekend, and he was saying that this is a really cool way of getting a lot of really good granular data on kind of where your expenses are going on your Lightning node. I think it only works with LND currently. Apparently it's hard to use, install and use, but he had some pretty cool pictures, not on here, I think they're on the thing, of a interface someone had added on top of it. I'm gonna go faster now. MIT Bitcoin Expo was over the weekend. There were a couple of Lightning talks. Andres Neves from Zebedee had a pretty good conversation, or at least presentation on Lightning addresses. Thank you. And I talked with Jeremy Rubin and Renee, and I think Jonathan dialed in through the internet thing, and we had a conversation about, like, a kind of long-ranging conversation about Lightning. So that's kind of cool stuff. They're kind of hard to find on here. Most of the Lightning stuff is on day 1. So if you go to day 1 here, I think it starts at like hour 2 is where Andre's thing starts up, which is cool. Bitcoin Lightning Networks talked about they're reaching 700 plus Bitcoin capacity open through swaps on LN Plus, which is cool. It's interesting to kind of put that in contrast with, this was tweeted May 11th, so I don't know what today is, it's 12th. Kind of, I don't know. So they've been going for, like, I think a few years now. So it's interesting to see, you know, Amboss had like 8 Bitcoin that they've done in a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Be interesting to see how long it takes them to hit 700 through bought and sold stuff. I don't think that Lightning Networks Plus is a paid for thing. I think it's like free. It's like find a friend and like they'll do it. It's cool. Lightning Labs has started the first ever LND PR review club, starts making contributions. It's tomorrow. Okay, today's the 11th. We're good. Starts tomorrow at, where is the Texas time? There's no Texas time on here. Yeah, right? Okay, thank you. In LND Slack channel review club. So if you're interested in hanging out for the LND PR review club, you should check it out. That sounds cool.
At noon.
Is it noon? Is it high noon tomorrow? Thursday, high noon, Texas time. Cool. Okay. Dusty, who's here, did the first real splice on main chain. We give it up for Dustin. Yeah, super exciting. Really exciting about splicing stuff. This is a feature that will let people dynamically change the value of Bitcoin that's locked into a channel, so you can keep your channel processing payments while you basically renegotiate the on-chain output that kind of anchors that channel. And Dustin's been working on it for a few months now, and super excited to do the first one on main chain. So nice job, Dustin. That's super awesome. Yeah, we're excited about it. Coming to a core lightning near you soon, 2 weeks, TM. Speaking of splicing, I am giving a talk on splicing. The Draper Bitcoin Studio is starting, I think, to try and do some talk stuff. They invited me to come and talk about lightning and splicing, so it will be next, I think, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Texas time. I don't know, it's only on May 17th. Yeah, so if you're interested in learning more about splicing and what is cool and interesting about that, we will be doing an online webinar. Okay, am I almost done? I'm almost done.
And clearly, splicing is going to play well with the liquidity markets because you can have like third parties like join in your channel, basically.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that all works. But yeah, I think there's a lot of really exciting stuff that we can do with that. I think the rest of the stuff is just like protocol updates and stuff. I don't remember why I had this on here. Sorry, there were like notes. LDK and async are closing in on about 12 implementation, which is exciting. That will let, this is the PR for offers, otherwise known as offers, which is kind of cool. Lets you just have a QR code that people can pay you to, and you don't have to change the QR code, which is really exciting. Zero conf channels are like headed towards getting cross implementation support. I think LDK has an implementation. I think async has one. I think LND and LDK have already done their interop testing. Core Lightning is closing in on this also, so that's really exciting stuff. I don't know. I'm not super excited about zero conf channels. This is a conversation maybe for next time, but we don't think we're out of time. But yeah, it's a thing. People want it. It's going to happen. What's my last thing? Is this my last thing? Oh, sorry. This is exciting, personally. This is the protocol thing that I had worked on for a couple of years. It's happening in Eclair. So notice this is not me who is working on this. Implement interactive transaction construction in Eclair. And so this is really exciting because this means that the underlying spec that backs like the liquidity ad stuff and also splicing might also be on async very soon. So then you could do AAC Lightning, async dual funded channel, or a splice between the two of them. That'll be a little later, I think. Cool. Okay. We'll save the announcements for the end, maybe.
Yeah, I think let's do it.
Oh.
No, we can announce.
Are you doing announces? Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, I have more announcements. Bitcoin++ is happening here in Austin. Yeah. Super excited. This is my first time running a conference. It's going absolutely great. I love it. Greatest thing I've ever decided to do. Yeah, but we still have some tickets on sale. It's going to be here in Austin, June 7th and 8th, 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day workshop conference with a lot of your favorite educators and teachers and builders in the space, followed by 2 days of hacking here in Bitcoin Commons. Thank you, Unchained. Yeah, and we're super excited. You can get tickets. This website looks awesome because Car is amazing, so thank you, Car. Yeah. Hoping to have the agenda out by the end of the week. Keep me honest on that one. And then final thing is I spend a lot of my free time teaching people about Bitcoin, specifically the Bitcoin protocol. It's a 6-week class. We're wrapping up our second ever batch next week, so it'll be next Thursday. Our next class starts up in June, so if you're interested in learning more about Bitcoin, etc., come hang out. Those are class prereqs, which are kind of fun stuff. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah.